praises be to the Creator, came from a question that was asked to me, and I invited the individual to service. They wanted to get in a little debate with me. And y'all know I don't do the debates. But he wanted to convince me that, and don't get me wrong, I love Kemet. Everything came from Kemet. I said, no, brother, everything didn't come from Kemet. No, brother, all it did is God, this, that. We didn't get it from no one else but Kemet. I said, no, brother, we were worshiping the Creator before Kemet even was a king. No, we won't. No, we won't. They gave us all the natural rules. So the message is God and Africa before Kemet. All right. All right? Yes, Creator and Africa before Kemet. Thanks, Sister Zakia, for, again, controlling the slideshow. And for my notes so I can follow y'all. So y'all see me moving papers. What you have on the board, I can look down without having to turn. I see. So brothers and sisters, let's look at this. We're going to go around Africa. And we're going to visit several little tribes in Africa to show you that we were worshiping the Creator before the Kemetic Empire.
That's right.
All right? And that there were Africans who existed before Kemet. Ashe? So let us go to our first slide here. All right? To teach about God. This is a hard word for some of our brothers and sisters to swallow because we think we got it from the European. And we didn't. God is only a title of the Supreme Being. It's not a name. God is Old English, of course. And Old English comes from German. All right? And the Germans use the word Gott. G-O-T or G-O-T-T. Most of the time it's G-O-T-T. The Germans got it from the Scandinavians who used the word Gud. G-U-D. All right? And the Scandinavian or the Norsemen got it from the Semitic word Gad, as we say in English, which is really pronounced in the Semitic tongue, God. God. We just say it more relaxed. God.
Come on, brother.
All right? Now, the European, you have to study etymology. He'll try to trick you. He'll try to teach you that this word, Semitic word, God, means fortune, as in good luck, good fortune. But in the Semitic tongue, to be fortunate means to be blessed. So the name, or the title, God means troop or army. So when they said Yahweh God, or El God, they were saying the creator of my army, the creator of my troop. Because what did Yahweh say? I will fight your battles. All right? He always described himself as a army or a troop or most of the time you find this word in the Bible, a host. And when you look up that word host in Hebrew, it says army or troop. All right? So they got this word from the Semitic people. This word means bless or goodwill or the will of the Creator. All right? Now, how did the Germans, the Scandinavians, the Norsemen, the Celts, the Romans, we're going to get into all that. How did they get this word? How did they borrow it? Let's go to clip number 2. Ancient black people of Europe. They try to give this one a more European look. You can see from the hair, that's a brother. The skeletons are black skeletons. You see the sister over here. All of these were found in Europe. They're all melanated black African people because we were the first people to inhabit what you call Europe. The first people to inhabit what you call Europe. We were the people who educated and tried to civilize the Europeans. As a matter of fact, you can trace the Latin, Greek, and Roman language back to African because they had no language until we gave them a language.
Absolutely.
They could not speak.
That's
when
right.
you see movies of them grunting, this is real. This is not a joke.
That's right.
All their cave movies, they did not know how to vocalize or pronounce anything. We taught them how to speak. So the root of the Latin tongue is really African. The same thing with the Greek and the Roman.
Yes, sir.
And if you check, you will find that there are words still in these languages that are traced way back to Mother Africa. The same thing with a lot of Japanese words, Chinese words, Tibetan words. We were everywhere. We can keep going on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we already know this, right? This is basic information for us, that we were the first people of the planet. We were everywhere.
Right.
Let's go to clip number 2. Clip number 2. A Cretan, a person of Crete. This is one of the earliest, they say, paintings of a Cretan. Look at that skin and look at that hair. Is that a white man, Caucasian, pale man, European?
No.
Nope.
This is an ancient stone head. What may be the head of a Roman/Celtic god found in 2013 doing an archaeological dig at the Winchester Roman fort. Built around AD 100 in England's Dunham. That's an R. Thank you.
Durham.
Y'all got better eyes than I have. All right. Look at the head. Look at the nose. Look at the hair. Look at the lips. Look at the eyes. Is that a Caucasian?
Not a bit. No way.
Not in the slightest. So we were there before the European got there. We taught them. And we taught them a Semitic ancient tongue. And we don't get the word Semitic, so just hold on, because I don't want y'all to think Semitic means Hebrew. Because today most people think when you hear the word Semitic, because these Jews have ran with the word, we think Semitic only relates to people called Jews or ancient Hebrews, and it doesn't. All right? So let's go to our next clip. The Celts and Scandinavians. Who were they? They were the early Vikings. The Vikings, Celts, and Scandinavians are the foreparents of all your German tribes. Three of the most famous of your German tribes are the Anglos, the Saxons, and the Franks. The Anglos and Saxons used to battle each other all the time, and then one day they united and they became the Anglo-Saxons, and they conquered the British Isles, and they named that island Anglo land, which today we call England. The Franks later, or in the early years, were pronounced as the Franks. All right, you know them today as France. All right, we said France, but it's really pronounced Frank. Those are the Franks. All right, these are the German people, along with the Gaelic and the Irish, whom our ancestors taught about creator and civilization. And this is where that word God comes from. And it's very important because this brother that I spoke to, like many, wanted to convince me that before Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, as we call it, we didn't pray to a God.
Yeah, bull.
Y'all never heard conscious people say this? Some of the conscious people, we didn't pray to a God before religion. We gave the world, the creator, what you call God. We gave it to the Most High. Ashe? Let's go to our next clip. All right.
Should be number 6.
Semitic. There we are. Now let's look at this word Semitic. All right? Semitic languages. Semitic languages are defined as a branch of Afro-Asiatic languages that are spoken in what the white man called the Middle East. And I put white man's definition because during that time there was no Middle East.
Good.
The Middle East was connected to Africa, the continent. All right? The Middle East was called the Middle East in 1869 after its excavation by the British to separate, that little canal separated what we call Arabia from Africa, and they renamed it the Middle East. But originally, that area called Arabia was northeastern Africa all the way to India.
Yes, sir.
All right? India, Arabia was a part of Mother Africa.
Indeed.
All right? So Afro-Asiatic languages are the languages, not word, but are the languages spoken in the continent of Africa today, Arabia, and India. Sanskrit is an Afro-Asiatic language. All right? Middle East, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. We're going to find out something about this Afro-Asiatic. It's a very powerful word. Because when you look at the word Afro-Asiatic, it tells you that you are the Asiatic people. Mm-hmm. And so I have gone back. I no longer refer to yellow people as Asians. They're Orientals. Mm-hmm. That's right. And if you look at some of the old shows from the 70s, early 80s, they were still called on television Orientals. All right? Let's go to our next clip, please, sister. All right. These Afro-Asiatic languages. Now, Afro is an English word from the Latin tongue, which was or is pronounced as Afro or Afri, which is a short form of Africa or African or of African heritage. All right? That's what Afro means. Asiatic, it comes from a Semitic word, meaning it belongs to what language?
Afro-Asiatic.
All those Afro-Asiatic languages.
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right? All those African languages. And it comes from the word Asia. Sometimes it's pronounced by some of our brothers and sisters as Ashia. The world of action. The world you and I are in, the world of action. There are different worlds. And we are a part of the world of action. So the whole planet was called Asia. The whole planet was called, as you would say in the English tongue, Asia. That was the whole name of the whole planet. The whole planet was called Asia. Not a part, but the entire planet. All right? Okay, I see some writing. I don't want to move too fast. All right, so no European. No European actually wrote history. We wrote history. All right, let's go to the clip. I believe it's number 8. Now, you see here Afro-Asiatic languages. Semitic is just one. Chadic, Cushitic, or Cushite, Berber, and Omotic. This area, those shaded areas, is where Europeans said the Afro-Asiatic languages were spoken. Where do you find Europe in the picture?
Nowhere.
Where do you see China or Japan or Tibet?
Nowhere.
Korea, Cambodia. You don't see nobody but Africa, right? We spoke that Afro-Asiatic language because according to the map of Asia, this was the East. The East extended over here to India. Why do you think the white man called this the Middle East? He would refer to India as the Far East, but you never hear him call Africa the East. But if this is the Middle East, what is it sitting in the middle of?
Come on, brother. Come on.
It got to be sitting in the middle of the East and the ending East or the Far East. So that in itself tells you that the Eastern world was the continent of Africa.
Teach it, brother. Teach it.
That's the Eastern world. All right? When you cross the Himalayas, the first thing you get is into the mountains. If you go past India and across the Himalaya mountains, you are in the mountains of an area called Tibet. That's when you push it to China and Japan and so forth and so on. But once you cross the Himalayas, according to our ancient writings, you were then in the West. You were no longer in the East. So the Orientals are really Westerners.
Yes, they are.
All right? And as Elijah Muhammad said, and I like to say, they are the closest thing to the white man, so watch them.
Come on. Come
All
on.
right?
Come on.
White man eat anything, the Oriental eat anything. White man doesn't have a God, the Oriental doesn't have a God. Both of them for that God is what? Money. All right? Now, let's go over these languages. Let's go to the next clip. I think I have it on the next clip. All right? The first language it says was Semitic. Semitic is what? Hebrew, Arabic, Amharic, Aramaic, Tigray, Assyrian, Maltese, Tigranic, I can't pronounce that one. Tigran, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Tigrinya.
Yeah, 'cause I had never heard of that one. I'll be honest. But we spoke it. Sumerian, Akkadian, Mesopotamian, Babylonian, Syriac, Ethiopian, Giz, Egyptian, Phoenician. Y'all wonder how the Hebrews and the Egyptians, when you read the Bible, can speak to each other. Chadic. Chadic consists of 150 languages spoken across North America, especially Nigerian, Chadic, which is Chad, the Cameroonian, Cameroon, Sudanese, and the Congolese, the Congo. Cushitic or Kushite languages of Somalian, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Eritrea, which is on the Horn of Africa, the Nile Valley, consisted of Sudan and Egypt, Tanzania, and Kenya. Berber languages: Algerian, Moroccan, Libyan, Tunisian, Malian, Nigerian, Mauritanian, Egyptian, and Maghreb or Maghrebian, the land of Maghreb. And this one, the last one, Omotic, Ethiopian, Giz, the Hammer, Bana, the Ari, the Dimi, the Kero, the Mao, the Mambasi, the Gimojin, the Yimsa, the Chara, also pronounced Kara, the Omota, excuse me. Oh, okay. The Omoto languages, which is a cluster of African languages. When you look at the Afro-Asiatic languages, you're looking at languages, if you study this, from Northern Africa to Southern Africa, from Western Africa as far east as you can go. So Afro-Asiatic languages are all our languages. Everything we spoke in the motherland is what the white man really called Afro-Asiatic. But he tricked us. He put all the Afro-Asiatic language, or the African languages, which are the holy tongue, under one word, Semitic. Got this related to a people called Jews, and today we only think Semitic means Jewish. So we don't want to learn to speak some of these languages because we think they belong to the white man. How can a language belong to a man that couldn't speak?
That's good.
All right? If you hold it for me, I promise you I get it. Make sure you write it down. All right? So brothers and sisters, we spoke a holy tongue. We're now speaking a bastard's language. All right? I just want, this history is needed so we can understand that Egyptian, the Melanetta, was not the first tongue. And I'm going to prove that to you. It was not the first tongue. Let's go to the next clip, please. All right. Now, first we got to clear something up. Af-Ra or Afu-Ra, meaning the body of Ra or the body of God, was Netta, the all, the God. as the ram-headed man who passed through the underworld to guide souls to the heavens.
I meant to.
All right? A mentor, correct. Now, this is very important because you'll find in true history, if you study, that the ram was the sacred symbol of all of your so-called Semitic or Afro-Asiatic people. It's even quoted in the Bible. You'll find that the ram was not only sacred in Kemet and many other places, but in your scripture, the ram is the sacred symbol of Israel. White man just hit it under the word sheep. But the sheep that led was the what? The ram. So Yahshua, when you give him that symbol of the sheep of Israel, no, in the ancient right, he's called the ram.
Come on, brother.
Of Israel. Because when you refer to a sheep, you basically most time referring to what? A non-adult creature. All right? You never refer to a ram as a sheep. Okay, y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
And this is very, very important because this symbol is older than Kemet. That's what I want you to know. This symbol is older than Kemet. All right, just stick with me. We're going to show you in a minute. All right, let's go to our next clip. Make sure I'm keeping up with y'all on my papers here. All right. Afu-Ra, body, house, land, or dwelling. That's the meaning of it. Ra, God, the supreme being. Ka, spirit, life of God. This is an ancient name of Africa. All right?
Yeah.
Afu-Ra-Ka or Afra-Ka is an ancient name of Africa. And we call the land after the deity. And we were those of the spirit and body or land of Neter, the God. Or we are the house, the people, the nation of the spirit of Ra, the God. Let me step across you for a minute. This is very important. Because we didn't get our name of Africa or Afu-Ra-Ka from a man named Publius Cornelius Scipio.
Right.
That's his birth name. Publius Cornelius Scipio, which people call Scipio Africanus. The name Africa did not come from this Greek. In 202 BC, his last battle was with Hannibal. Hannibal was defeating him, but he defeated Hannibal in 202 BC. And therefore, Rome then took control of northern Africa. And when Rome took control of northern Africa and Scipio went back home, they called him Africanus the Great, or the Conqueror Africanus, meaning you conquered the land. When the white man takes a land, he puts his name on the land. El Salvador. Who put the name of El Salvador on South America? The Savior. That's what El Salvador means, the Savior. What Savior? Jesus Christos. Turtle Island. America.
And so on.
From who? America Vespucius. Right? So either they put their name on the land, or they take the name of the land, indicating, I have conquered it. I came, I saw, I conquered. It's just like, for instance, who put their name on a place once called Rhodesia? Africa. Cecil Rhodes.
Cecil Rhodes.
Right? Put his name upon it. So the man was born Publius, what a name, Publius. Cornelius Scipio. And I had to clarify that. Africa didn't get its name from the white man. That's why we have to study.
Right.
All right, that's why studying is so important. Let's go to our next clip. And I'm a little sad the brother's not here because he wanted to put out a challenge. Now,
I wouldn't be here.
when you look at the history of our people, We were the only people who occupied a place once known as Pangaea.
That's right.
Pangaea means the whole, the entire, or the complete earth.
Right.
This was before the continents separated. This is what it was supposed to have looked like. So when Negroes claim they're not Africa because they can trace their ancestry to South America or North America, it's because the Africans started here and spread it everywhere.
Yeah.
So when the continents started to slowly separate it, some of us were already in those places from this place here.
Right.
Does not mean you're not of African descent.
That's right.
You see how crazy the white man make us?
Yes,
Because we don't think. We didn't come from Africa. We were already in North America. Yes, you were. But you started from the motherland. And that's what we don't understand.
Right.
All right? Now, if you look at Pangaea, where would Arabia be? Right here. Most pictures do not have this line because there was no separation.
Right.
All right? You notice this little piece of land is not named. That's another trick. So these were the first places we occupied. From Africa into what we call Arabia today, and Africa into India, which is why the oldest histories are right here in this region. Africa, followed by so-called Arabia, followed by India. And then we can go to the rest of the world. This is very important. Why? There was no Kemetic Empire right now.
Right.
And we was worshiping the Creator. So there was a Creator, a God, a supreme being before Kemet. So Kemet didn't give us everything. I like to say that Kemet did, with the teachings of our ancestors, what the Oriental did with the martial arts. The martial arts originated in Africa.
That's right.
But the Orientals are famous for it because they ran with it.
Yeah.
All right? There were people with belief systems and teachings before Kemet, but the Kemetic people got it, our ancestors, and they ran with it. They really did something with it. All right? Let's go to our next clip. If you have any questions, please write them there. I promise we'll get to them right after. This is more of a history than anything else, but
It's all good.
wanted this brother to know. Let's look at Genesis 2, 8, 10, and 14. Can one of our brothers see it from there? Where you are?
Yes.
All right, could you read it for us, please, brother?
And Yahweh planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden. And from thence it was parted, and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium in the onyx stone, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that encompasses the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Sedekah. That is it which goes towards the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates.
All right. Y'all heard all that, right? I'm going to teach you something right here, if you don't already know, that most ministers will not give you. Roll back to clip number 12. Please. We're going to go back to clip number 12. Now, this is important. Let me tell you why this is important. Let's get there first. All right, thank you, sister. According to all biblical scholars and the Jewish people, when you read Genesis 1, that's the word you're talking about. You're not looking at the map today. You're looking at this world right here. All right? What we just read is this world right here. Eden, pronounced Aden or Eden, means beautiful or pleasure, delightful. The world was called Eden. You notice there's a garden in Eden? The world is called Eden. All right? Now, it says eastward in Eden. Where's eastward in Eden? When they separate, it's still the east. Right?
Right.
All right, so the world is called beautiful and the world is called delightful. Eastward in Eden. So we're talking about 4 rivers. One of those rivers, and we're going to go over it, is a famous river. All right? So let's go to clip number 14. Right here. These are the 4 places the rivers came out of. The land of the four rivers, the first one is called Havilah. They say Havilah, biblical archaeologists, anthropologists, was ruled by the Cushites. It is now modern day Saudi Arabia, or what you call Yemen. Ethiopia, I don't have to tell you about Ethiopia. The word comes from the Greek word Ethiop. It was talking about the entire continent of the motherland, not a place, but the continent of the motherland. Then there's Assyria. Assyria was also said to be ruled by the Cushites. It is modern day Iran, Iraq, and Syria. And the Euphrates River, they say, is founded in ancient Babylon, also ruled by the Cushites, which is today Turkey, Syria, Baghdad, Iraq, and Kuwait. All that's mostly now land of the pair of Arabs.
Yes.
All right? But according to historians, this was black land. Now, did y'all see something that caught your eye yet? If this was the land of Pangaea at the time, who are the ruling people?
Black folks.
Black people, but what's in this? Cushites. It doesn't say Kemites. It said Cushites. Don't you know the Cushites predate the Kemites?
Yes, they did.
So how is it that Kemet gave us everything that divine and religious and spiritual, when these were religious and spiritual and divine people who were already in existence? So God and Africa before Kemet so far has already been proven. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's no way we could have gotten everything from the Kemetic people, because the Kemites are actually called a colony of Cushites.
That's true.
A colony who branched away. So the Kemites are originally Cushites, whom the Europeans call Ethiopians, because the word Ethiop was used before Egyptos. All right, check the time period. They first used Ethiop or Ethiopian before they described us as Egyptian.
Right.
So evidently the Egyptians came later. All right, let's go to our next clip, number 16. All right. 15, excuse me, 15, I'm sorry. Can we read that one, brother?
Yes.
And the sons of Ham, Cush and Mizraim, and Put and Phut, northwest Africa and Canaan, meaning land of purple. Is that right?
Meaning land of purple.
Purple Phoenicia.
And they were the Phoenicians.
I'm all the way back here.
That's all right, brother. The Bible says, and the sons of Ham, properly Cam or Kim, right? Meaning these are the sons. Now the Bible is coded. I want y'all to know that. The sons of Cam, meaning the sons of Africa. What's the first son? Cush. Cam represents all of Africa. Cush represents the first empire. And Cush was followed by Mizraim. Mizraim. Egypt.
Egypt.
Y'all see that?
Yes,
That's the second son. And Phut, Libya, northwest Africa. Next kingdom. And then Canaan, Cana, meaning land of the purple. The Phoenicians, why? Because the Greeks said they were dark and purplish. Don't we say that when we find some of our brothers and sisters, we jet black, we blue black, got that purple shine? Huh? They were looking at African people all over. But Mizraim or Egypt was an empire, yes, in Africa, but it came after the Cushite Empire. Stuff is right there before us, but we don't want to read it. Why? We don't want to study, we don't want to investigate it because we want to give the white man credit for everything. That's right. I was a white man.
Go there.
Why would we give the devil credit for the knowledge we gave him?
That's right.
Religion is the white man's idea. No, religion just means the practices of your spiritual belief.
Thank you.
Religion really means tied to the word rituals. Because in every religion you go through rituals. We went through rituals. What's the ritual? Prayer, song, message, later dance. Everybody got the rituals you go through. That's all religion is. It's just the rituals of your spiritual belief. So how can you be spiritual and not be religious, or be religious and not be spiritual? Every spiritual people got rituals that they follow. You won't find that to be false. All right? So I don't know where the conscious people get all this stuff. I'm spiritual and not religious. If you pray, I don't care if you acknowledge that a frog. If you pray to the frog every day, that's a ritual. Therefore, you're practicing a religion.
Yes.
See, we let the words fool us and not the concept of what's really behind the word to come forth. Ashe?
Ashe.
Let's go to clip number 16. All right? Cam, right?
Yes.
Cam or Kim, from the Kemetic word Kemet. Cam doesn't mean black. Cam means multitude of men. That's another trick of the devil. To get them off of the greatness of who they are. All right? Tell them that everything means black, but don't give them the real meaning behind it. If we were the only people on the planet, who did we have to compare ourselves to? Because back then we really didn't even call ourselves black people. We were all the same, so there was no reason to say we come from the land of black. The whole earth is black underneath. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
I raised around farmers. They always said, go out there, we're going to till the land, plant something, but dig up that good black soil. Africa was the only place that had black soil, got the richest soil. Later it became associated with the word black. That's quoted in the Bible too. Because there's a man by the name of Abra or Ibra, whom the Creator spoke to and said, I'll make you a father of many nations. And he changed his name to Ibrahim. Abraham. Father of a multitude or father of many.
Come on, brother. Teach it.
And that's a Semitic tongue. They tell you Cush means black. Cush means comfort or pleasure. Where we get the modern word cushion. They tell you Sheba or Saba means black. Sheba or Saba means 7 or 7. They tell you Niger means black. Niger really is the ancient Afro-Asiatic word that's nectar or nectar. And they tell you Misra means black, and Misra means a double stronghold. What do you mean a double stronghold? Because Kemet was what? Upper and lower. She had a double stronghold on Africa when she became a kingdom or power. See, we got to study this stuff.
Teach it, brother.
Right.
Rather than listening to a lot of fools who telling us stuff. That's why, in a sense, I like hidden colors because it put people on a path, but I don't like hidden colors because the hidden colors disregard this information I'm giving you. Because it tells you, no, religion is not ours, the Bible is not ours, the Quran, the Torah, Yahshua wasn't this person, Abraham was... Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
If you watch them all like I have, you see the good in it, and then you see what y'all messing up. Because you stuck on this Kemetic path. When in fact, we were a people of a multitude. All right? We just wasn't one people.
Right.
Let us go to clip number 17, please. If you can't see this, we can put it back up here at the end of the message. You have to read this article. It's a book. You have to get the book. Afuraka, or Afurahite, the origin of the term Africa, parts 1 through 4. Very good. I can't pronounce the brother's name. All right? I can't pronounce it. I know Swayze rock. Nehim Ptah Akan, Ardwi Rapho. That's the best I can do for you. But it's a good book.
Only Raffle.
Odi Rapho.
Because
Right.
O is the
Say again.
word, when the number O of the letter O is pronounced O all the time in the African
shit.
language.
Thank you. Bye. All right. But if you want to research more, I would suggest get this book and study it. All right? The oldest two names, Afuraka, older than Afuraka was Al-Kabbalah. All right? Those are the oldest names, older than Kemet. So Africa was not first called Kemet.
Correct.
Afuraka and Al-Kabbalah. And I'm going to tell you something. Afuraka and Al-Kabbalah is not an origin from ancient Kemet. If it's not an origin from ancient Kemet, then we were worshiping Ra. Right? One of the names of the Creator before Kemet arose. God in Africa before Kemet.
Yes.
That's our message, right?
Yes.
All right, let's go to clip number 18. And this you'll find very, very interesting. And clip number 18, we're looking at what?
And my cat.
The Haru, excuse me, that should be an A, not an S. I apologize, my typo. Haru Aket, which is the Sphinx, and the mirror, which means house, which is the pyramid. All right? These are so ancient that when you study them in depth, you're going to find out that the ancient Kemetic people said they were ancient. Did y'all catch me? The ancient Kemites said they were ancient. And you will find that there were more pyramids where? In Sudan, Ethiopia, Libya, and throughout Africa. Pyramids were everywhere. Didn't start in Africa. And I heard Brother Bobby back there, he's correct. They were in America, South America, a few have been found in Canada. We were everywhere.
Yes, that's right.
Everywhere. So we're looking at ancient monuments that predates ancient Kemet. So why do we give these monuments to Kemet? Because that's as far back as the white man can date them. Remember, his knowledge and his study is limited. We were here before they got here.
That's right. That's right.
All right? So we need to study what he wrote, but then we got to go back and study what our ancestors have recorded. And that's what we miss.
That's right.
All right? Let's go to our next clip, please, sister. Interesting right here. Khufu. His true name is Khnum Khufu. The Europeans call him Cheops.
Yes.
He was the ruler of the 4th dynasty. He worshipped one creator, Amen. He wrote a sacred book. So he must have been religious. I'm just saying. And originally from the land of Uz. Uncertain, but was said to be somewhere in northeastern Africa. Khufu was not Egyptian born. He is called a foreign ruler. All right? A foreign ruler. The Bible tells you about Khufu. It's coded. They taught us about it in the seminary, and I was shocked when we went through it. And then I had to do my history. You're going to be shocked about this one. Y'all got Khufu? Let's go to clip number 20. Read this for me, brother.
There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright.
Come on.
And one that feared Yahweh and that shewed evil. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
Excuse me, did you say something? Job is pronounced in the Semitic tongue as Eo. Eo. You come from the land of Uz. Or excuse me. Uz. All right?
Uz.
Thank you. He was what? I underlined certain things I need you to know. One that feared and respected the Most High. So this man was the greatest of all men of the East. Now let's go to the next clip. Job is actually Khufu. Job, the name of Job, the meaning of Job is unknown. I mean, the name of Eob is unknown. Khufu's history is a mystery. The book of Jasher, which was taken out of the Bible, places Job during the time of the pharaohs. Biblical scholars admit that he lived before Abraham. Manetho, an Egyptian priest and historian, wrote that Khufu was not of Egyptian birth. Job was not of Hebrew birth. Both came from a people that predates the ancient Egyptians and Hebrews. Dates on Khufu and Job have been found to be incorrect as far as when they lived, because they predate the time given to them. Findings put both around the same time periods. Khufu was actually a foreign king in Kemet who was called Saru or Sharu. Job was also said to have been a king. A man named Suf, also called Saf-Hotep, was Khufu's chief of works in building the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is credited to Khufu. Early Hebrew writings state that Job built the Great Pyramid along with the help of Joseph. Amen.
Yes.
All right?
Well.
Both Saf-Hotep and Joseph had 11 brothers. Manetho described Khufu as being arrogant towards God. If you read Job 38, this is when Yahweh answers Job out of the whirlwind. Why did Yahweh answer Job out of the whirlwind? Because Job got arrogant. And let me tell you what they left out. Research, I challenge you to challenge me. Job is credited for building that Great Pyramid of Giza. I see Brother Bob there shaking his hand, right, brother?
Yes, sir.
So when Yahweh answered Job out of the pyramid, what they took out of chapter 38 is this. Because he was very wise, he became arrogant, and he questioned the Most High, and the Most High answered and said, you built the great altar. You have the measurement of it with all your wisdom. But where were you when I measured the universe? Where were you when I laid out the foundation of it? You built the Giza, but I built the universe. How dare you challenging me? That's why Yahweh answered Khufu the way he did. That's why I be telling brothers and sisters, don't throw away your Bible. Your Bible really has a lot of information. You just got to know how to get it.
Teach it, brother. Teach it.
And we don't know how to get it. Right there in the book, Khufu worship Amen. Another name for Amen is Yahweh. Another name for Amen is Ra. Another name for Amen is Allah. One God, one people.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We fighting over religion. Let's go to the next step, brothers. The Greeks said that both Job and Khufu worship a god, and the Greek language is spelled with the Greek letters I-U, I-H-U, or I-E-U-E. The E makes a double Y sound. The U makes a W sound. And they wrote it as Y-W or Y-A-W. And you find it in the ancient Kemetic hieroglyph. Who is that God?
Yahweh.
So Yahweh is not a Semitic Hebrew God. Yahweh is a Semitic Afro-Asiatic God. We were worshiping this creator long before religion, as we call it today, came into existence. Both men worship Amen outside of Kemet in Israel, who was also called, Amen was also called Sa, which is a short Greek form of Asa. All right? Khufu is also called Saru or Sharu, meaning the inhabitant of Seir. We went over this word in a class one time. This is a Greek word for Asa, because in the holy land of Israel was a mountain called Mount Seir or Mount Asa that Israel worshiped God on.
Come on, come on, come on.
So how can Asa be a pagan god? Khufu is said to be from Mount Seir. Job from Luz, located in the area of Mount Seir or Mount Asa. Yahweh was worshipped by Israel on that mountain, which was a holy mountain to the ancient Kemites at that time. So the ancient Hebrews and the ancient Kemites worshiped the same deity on the same mountain, and the white man got you confused thinking that they were worshiping two different gods. Isn't that right? See, he's tricking with his divide and conquer tactics, and a lot of us are so ignorant, we listen to him more than we would listen to us.
That's right.
And that's, brothers and sisters, why the Spirit United African Nation house of worship pours from the Medu Neter, the Purim Haru, the Code of Hammurabi, the Torah, Bible, Quran, because they're all one book that has been poured apart and distorted and given a name called religion.
Yes, sir. Teach it. Teach it, bro. Teach it.
Then we're going to clip number 23. We're going to the Purim Haru. That's your red cover book if you have it with you. That's the red cover, but let me get one of the brothers to read this for me real quick.
Ptah, Lord of Life, was one of the oldest and greatest forms of Yahweh of Memphis, Menefer. He was the creator of the universe. He is identified with Temu, Atum, and Ra, and was called the very great God who existed in primeval time. The father of fathers, the great grandfather of the gods, father of beginnings.
Ptah. Ptah is one of the earliest deities, or the name of the deity, in Kemet. Ptah. All right? Earliest. Now, let's check something out. Let's go to clip number 24. According to the ancient writings of our Kemetic ancestors, Nes and Ptah were not only the same person, both are dwarfs associated with the Pygmies.
Yes.
The Pygmies, according to the ancient Kemetic writing, are the oldest and original people. That's what our Kemetic ancestors said, so they can't be first. Right? And if they introduced Nes and Ptah to the Kemites, and they made them into dwarf statues because the people who introduced them were Pygmies. So then, there's the ancient Kemetic confession that we got our belief system, if you want to call it that, from the Pygmies. They introduced Nes, Ptah, to the Kemites. They didn't have these two attributes for the Creator until the big Pygmies introduced them. So hold on. The Cushites are older. Now we find the Pygmies are older. And to this day, the Pygmies are one of the oldest people on the planet.
Yes.
All right? If you right there and hold it for me, Baba Shabbat, I promise you I'll get you. All right? What we're proving is that we was worshiping the Creator before ancient Kemet. Not taking anything from Kemet, but Kemet didn't give us everything that we know.
That's right.
All right? Let's go to clip number 25. All right, now here's another people. Can we read this for us, please? That's pronounced Swayze.
The Swayze. The Swayze, or the
Swayze.
Swayze, were ancient people of the source of the Nile River, believed to have lived and ruled peacefully the ancient empire of Kitara, or Empire of the Sun, from perhaps 25,000 BCE up until 1200 CE. They were said to be demigodly in nature and possess a high intelligence in addition to the criminal captivities. However, legend has them shredded in a great mystery, yet they remain revealed and praised across the western parts of the Great Rift Valley of East Africa, particularly in most cultures of Uganda, and are heard about through Tutsis or tradition.
Ashe. The Swayze or the Swayze are said to be the ancestors of the ancient Kemites. All right?
Right.
Now you got three people that existed before the Kemetic people. They're the ancestors. All right? They ruled, let me find it, the Empire of the Sun. Study that. That was the Empire of Ra. Again, you find the name Ra in use before Kemet. That was the empire of the sun. The empire of Ra. A very highly intellectual people. Now, paranormal capabilities. It says that the Swayze are able to use, I'm going to use the European term, a powerful form of spiritual magic. They can transform themselves into animals. They can travel into the spirit realms. They can levitate. To this day, the Swayze will fall down on prayer mats. After praying, they will sit on them and levitate. That's the origin of the flying carpet. The Catholic Church up until 1970 was sending priests over there to try to teach, so that the Swayze could teach the priests how they would levitate. And if you investigate, these priests have articles written in many magazines. America would not allow them on television to say, we saw these people on prayer rugs or mats and they were floating through the sky. The Swayze are called half human, half gods. What are you?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Look at our DNA.
Didn't Yahweh say in Psalm 82, that's what you are?
Yes.
Didn't Yahshua say in John 10, that's what you, is it not written? Don't you know your potential? Why are you sitting here oppressed? Why does the white man has a hold on you when you are more than just flesh? You are gods. Elohim, Neteru, Anunnaki. That's us. Let's go to clip number 26. Let's read this one if we can, please.
Many studies suggest that the Swayze were part of the superhuman race or remnants of such ancient people beings that may have landed in the Nile Valley from around 5000 BCE or prehistoric times, establishing great civilization along its banks from deeper areas past Lake Tanganyika around Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, houses of stone, ruins through the Nile Delta, Swayze Canal, and Sumeria. A time period that may have seen the construction of great Kemetic and Sudanic pyramids and ancient Kushite civilization. Let's also not rule out that these mystery people may have been fathers of the great kings and queens of Kemet, Kush, and Nubia, or the same blood, or part of the group of known Sudanic and Kemetic gods, but not just ancient of Uganda. African history, January 20, 2016.
All right, you'll find that in the Swahili Africa article. All right, now two key things I want y'all to see here. Superhuman beings that came from someplace.
Come on.
We didn't originate on Earth. They landed in the Nile Valley. All right? And, let me find it. They dwelt in houses of stones. Historians said these houses of stone, now in ruins, were ancient pyramids. These Swayze people built pyramids before the Kemetic people. That's why the pyramids were ancient to the Kemites.
Right.
Do you understand that when Khufu built the Great Pyramid of Giza, during that time, the Great Pyramid of Giza was a modern structure compared to the other pyramids. Right. Because they were ancient to the ancients. So the Kemetic people didn't even build the Heroim Ket, the Sphinx. Yeah, you builders. Because they said it was older than them. Study the Kemetic writing. They said the Sphinx is older than us.
Yes.
We don't know where it came from. It's been here. How old are we?
Can't count.
Never know.
Never. We would never know. Because as Elijah Muhammad taught, and I must agree with it, we came with the sun, the moon, and the stars. And don't nobody know how old the sun, moon, and stars are. They just guessed and said trillions and trillions of years. That's a scientific guess. And a scientific guess means an educated guess. Educated guess means I got a piece of paper, so I'm qualified to tell you what I think.
Right.
Really, that's what science is based on, educated guesses. Am I right or wrong? Who knows about it? And educated guesses mean I got a degree, so I'm the authority of it.
That's right.
Let's go to clip number 27, please. There it is, Psalm 82:6. I said, ye are gods, and all of your children of the Most High. They went to stone Yahshua because Yahshua declared himself a God. And he said, why do you seek to kill me? They said, because you make yourself a God. And Yahshua, I know I put the Greek Jesus there, I was typing, but Yahshua said to them, is it not written in your law, I said you are God? I said, it's the Creator speaking. Not Yahshua, not David. This is the Creator. The Swayze are called Ibi Manuka, meaning those who landed as gods. We landed here. We came from the Most High.
Wow.
We don't belong on this planet. The Creator gave us this planet and said, subdue it, rule it. It's yours. And we let the white man take it. And we let the white man keep it. Because we're too busy fighting over foolishness rather than uniting and coming together on the concept of oneness.
That's right.
Let's go to clip number 28. San or San people called Bushmen of Southern Africa. These people predate the ancient Kemites. They predate the ancient Kemites. They believed in one deity. They had a religion, what you call rituals, that they did in an order. They also worshiped the deity on holy hills. You know, you go in the Bible, Quran, God is always on the holy mountain or holy hill. That is connected to us. There's something about those holy mountains and holy hills. But these brothers and sisters of the southern part of Africa predates also. Now, how many people we got before the Kemites now? Cushites, the Pygmies, the Swayzes, the San. Who else? Anybody else? Did I name anyone else? Make sure I don't forget anyone. All right, let's go to clip number 29. Their god was called Kagen or Kagin, the supreme being and creator. They believe in lesser deities. All right? You got them in the Bible, don't get scared. You got them in the Quran. They believe or believe still in an afterlife. Their belief is based upon rituals, initiations, rites of passages, music and dance, trances by which they can enter the spirit world. And we laugh at our ancestors back in the day when they get the Holy Ghost, as we say. And they go into that spiritual trance. I'm not talking about the fake people do today. If you grew up in church like I did, you saw elders and you saw people get it, and it wasn't no joking. They were somewhere else. And then some of them came back, and they did this thing called prophesying.
That's right.
They talked about what they received. See, we don't know anything about it anymore because the white man taught us to mock our spiritual beliefs.
Right.
So we can't connect anymore because we take it as a joke. Let's go to number 30, please. Now, the San people, the Bushmen of the southern parts of Africa, say they come from the top of the world. Here's the map of Africa in its original state.
That's right.
So that means they did come from the top of the world.
Come on, brother.
Isn't that right? They came from the top. They said we came from the top of the world. So we're looking at the map how upside down and not right side up.
Yeah, we upset.
So the San people said they were here first. We come from the top of the world. They have a strong spiritual belief. And guess what? As one of the oldest people on the planet, all these people, you can debate which one came first, you won't find it. The ones I named. But they predate the ancient Egyptians, as we call them.
Right.
The San people, y'all saw them, right? They're not dark-skinned people. That's about as dark as they get. So everybody wasn't jet black or purple black or blue black. We came in all colors of black.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
All right? Don't let nobody fool you. Light-skinned brothers, sisters, not a real black person. I hate them conscious Negroes that say that mess. You're not a real black person. Y'all hear, right?
Yes.
Gone.
I often tease my wife about it. I can't tease her anymore after night, can I?
No.
She got me now. All right, but they say they come from the top of the world. Let's go to page 31. We're about there. Study the Blombos Cave. All right? Which is... The devil don't want us to know. He don't want us to know. Right there, not far from Cape Town on the southern tip of South Africa is where you find the Blombos Caves. The most ancient of religious, as they say, writings is here. The most ancient of religious writings that predates the ancient Egyptian religious writings are found among these people who come from the top of the world. It is also called the Sodilo Hills, or the Mountain of the Gods. There is a god, or was a god, in a form of worship before Kemet. All right?
Yes.
Clip number 32, please. Somebody read First Chronicles for us, please.
Eternity, nature of praise, manner and methods of agreement before God, Amen, blessed be Yahweh, the God of Israel, from everlasting even to everlasting. Then all the people said, Amen, and praised Yahweh.
Let me clear something up. I removed, it's supposed to be a dot there.
Oh, okay.
White man put them dots there, it says a period. But there was no period. And in the Hebrew writings, before the God, Amen. Meaning they did something in the presence of him, right? Then they said of Amen, blessed be Yahweh. The Hebrew Semitic people are writing saying, we call Amen Yahweh, right? He is the God of Israel. And how long we've been worshiping him? From everlasting, even to everlasting. Then all the people said, Amen. They weren't saying Amen like you say Amen today. Meaning sealing the prayer. They call it on name. All right? Now, here's the thing. Study this right here. This is not the Semitic writing. This is the, Hebrew writing. This is the Semitic or Afro-Asiatic expression from everlasting. What's from everlasting? What does that mean? Define from everlasting. That means we've been worshiping this creator from time eternal. Meaning before any of us got here and landed here, we were already worshiping this creator.
That's right.
And we're going to worship this creator until everlasting. You can't find from everlasting, meaning you don't find no time when you didn't worship the creator. Didn't nobody give you, thank you, so no beginning. Nobody gave you a religion. Nobody gave you a spirituality. Nobody gave you a holy book. You wrote the holy book. The only thing the devil did was took your holy books, plagiarized your holy books, changed your holy books, defiled your holy books, and put his names in your holy books. But your books, you wrote them. The white man did not write one sacred or holy thing on the planet. He stole everything he wrote.
That's right.
Then he's not the author of anything. If you pick up your Bible and you got King James or anybody else's name, they just stamp their name on it after they change it.
Yes.
But the writings of the book is yours. Let's go to clip number 33. This is the last one. Nahum, Nahum, it says pronounced 3:9. Cush and Egypt, Kemet, were her boundless strength. Foot and Libya were among her allies. Oh, wait a minute, I think we got one more. I'm sorry. Now we're talking about Israel. Did y'all catch this?
Lay down the line.
Cush and Kemet were your endless strength. You're talking to Israel. That's your strength.
Right.
That's where you come from, Aset Ra'el. You come from these two people. Foot and Libya were among your allies. In other words, the Creator is saying, look at it. You were once one people. What happened to you? You were a family. What happened to you? You were allies. What happened to you? You relied on one another as brothers and sisters. What happened to you?
Come on.
Who divided and conquered you?
The devil.
Who told you my precious innumerable names and attributes belong to different gods when they all belong to me. Who taught you this foolishness?
Teach it, brother. Teach it.
You got to learn to read between the lines. And you got to study the language, the etymology of the language, the time period and the history to understand what was being said, how it was being said, and who the Creator was talking to. So he's talking to Israel about her connection with her brothers and sisters, and he's basically saying in Nahum chapter 3, this is why y'all messed up. And he also goes on and says, this is why I'm chastising you.
Amen.
Let me make it clear. I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters. It's 7 of us. Growing up when we fought each other, mother and father whipped everybody.
That's right.
Because brothers and sisters were not supposed to fight. So everybody, in other words, if I was the older brother at the time in the room watching TV, and my younger brother Charles, and my younger sister Teresa, or Charlene got into a squabble, and as the older brother I didn't break it up, when my father came in there, I was included in that whipping. Because he said, why didn't you stop this?
That's right.
You don't let your brothers and sisters fight.
That's right.
And then we would get a beating as well if one of us was outside in the street fighting and the other one didn't jump in it. Let my brother and sister come home, sit down and fight. And my father said, where were you? Because that's where he was at. Where were you? I was at the bus stop. I was holding her book or his books. Line up. You got it too. And that's what the Creator is, a good parent. I'm going to get all of y'all. Because all of you are brothers and sisters.
That's right.
And now you allow someone or something to come between you and separated you. Now let's go to our 3rd clip. I think that's the next one. There it is. Wait a minute, that's not the last one either.
Carol.
All right. All right.
Good out there.
Carol.
Foot. Also pronounced punch. But in this Afro-Asiatic tongue is Punet or Punet. Southeastern Africa.
No.
Excuse me, Northeastern Africa, thank you. They call their land Taneta, land of the god.
Right.
Y'all know them pygmies I was talking about? Ancient Kemetic people called them the people of Punt. Who introduced them to the Creator. Who introduced them to the name of Ptah and Bes, who predates the Kemetic Empire, but yet they call their land Taneta.
Come on, brother.
They were already using the language.
Yes, sir.
But were not of the Kemetic Egyptian Empire, nor were they considered to be Kemetic people. We were one people, but we had different family or tribal names. We still go that way today. It doesn't divide us.
No.
Right?
Right.
All right, let's go to 35. There they are. Look at the people up front. The drawings show you they were dwarfs. In the ancient paintings on walls, they're dwarfs. And the statues, they're dwarfs.
Come on, bro.
But they predate the Kemetic people, and they're associated with the pygmies. All right, 36. I know this, man. All right, we're done. Now, this is the last one. Psalm 68:31. Someone read that for me, please.
Princes should come out of Egypt. Ethiopia should soon stretch out her hands unto Yahweh. Kemet and Cush.
Ashe.
Kemet, Cush. In other words, where does our salvation lie? And our coming back together. He didn't say this one, Kemet, Egypt, or that one, Cush, Ethiopia shall. He said no. You're going to do it. Now, here's the thing. Why did the Creator inspire the writer to put 2 Latin words here that meant the entire continent, including the northeastern Africa? Why do you think? Because Latin people, by the time they get that book, the prophets, what are prophets anyway, and prophecy? What are they?
Messengers.
They are people who see ahead.
Yeah, they're predicting.
So when they write stuff, they're writing for what is to come. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So when David was inspired to write this, he was writing what is to come. So while you fighting over whether you're Kemetic or African, Did y'all catch it? Because isn't that the battle today? It's not David told us today, you're fighting over, we not African, we Kemetic, we not Kemetic, we this. He said, no, until you unify and stretch forth your hands to me, the blessings is not coming. So yes, Kemet plays a major role in our history. But Kemet is not the only place where our spirituality lies.
Amen.
Right.
We can study many other African people or African nations before Kemet and after Kemet. And we'll come up with the same concept if you know where to look and how to read it.
Yes, sir.
So brothers and sisters, we are all Africans, we're all Kemetic, we're all Cushites. You name it, we mix.
That's right.
Because when the Creator, because of our disobedience, allowed the white man to do what he did. And he did allow it because he stepped away from us, because we first stepped away from him. He brought us from every aspect of the motherland to these barren lands. And he did what? He was doing the Creator's plan. He was mixing us to make us one people. You can't swab your mouth and give me saliva and tell me where you come from with all those different nations that has been a part of your bloodline since your ancestry been in the Americas. You can't tell me what one tribe you come from. The Creator said, no, I'm going to kill that myself because I'm going to let the man really bring you back to your senses. So I may have a grandfather from Ghana, a great-great-grandmother from South Africa. I may have a relative from Kemet. I may have one from the Igbo or from the Malay or from this or that. You know how many people came to America?
Yes.
How many Jews did Hitler kill?
Yes.
They said 6 million. He didn't kill 6 million Jews. That was a bald-faced lie.
That's right.
How many Africans came to the
Come on,
Americas?
man.
They say over 600 million.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And not counting the ones who were lost at sea. Over 600 million, and somebody can swab you today. When they made your ancestors, the sons sleep with the mothers to produce a child. Fathers sleep with daughters. Daughters slept with brothers. Uncles slept with nieces. Nieces slept with uncles. Men slept with their aunts. The aunts slept with their nephews. That man did a beastly act to us. Because if your mother was a strong woman, she produced a strong buck. The white man said when he reached puberty, you make him go in and sleep with his mother. And the way he did it, he blindfolded you.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
And he threatened the mother.
That's right.
And the story says the young man was on top of his mother. The mother was weeping with sorrow. And the young brother didn't even know who it was. Their mama got pregnant and lied in order to save her child's life. It was this one's baby and that one's baby, and she carrying her own son's child. And you think you can find one person you come from all this mix up? I'm glad it's no longer any names to keep us separated. Now that we know we are now again one tribe,
All right.
one nation, one people, under one God. Let's get this one world. I say,